The United States, a nation built by immigrants, has always grappled with the complexities of immigration. And look, it's a topic that tends to get people very, very heated. But here's the thing, it's more nuanced than your racist uncle's Facebook rants might suggest. The US remains a beacon of hope, a shining city on a hill for those seeking a better life. However, the journey to America is often fraught with peril, with many resorting to illegal means of entry. Now, before we dive into the where they're coming from and the why, we need to acknowledge the elephant in the room. The simple fact that people migrating, legally or not, is as old as time itself. It's woven into the very fabric of human history. We're hardwired to seek out better opportunities, to escape danger, to chase that ever-elusive dream. So let's try and approach this with a modicum of empathy, shall we? Today we'll be taking a look at the top 10 countries with the highest numbers of undocumented immigrants in the United States. We'll unpack the historical context, the economic realities, and the human stories that often get lost in the political shouting matches. Buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy, thought-provoking ride. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the country sharing a 2,000-mile border with us, Mexico. Now, the history of US-Mexico migration is more tangled than a plate of chilaquiles after a night out. For centuries, it's been a story of intertwined economies, cultural exchange, and yes, let's be honest, exploitation. The Bracero program, for instance, invited Mexican laborers to fill US labor shortages, only to later deport many of them. And then there's NAFTA, which, while intended to boost trade, ended up displacing Mexican farmers and pushing them north for work. It's like inviting someone over for dinner, eating all their food and then handing them the bill. Today, the factors driving Mexican migration are as complex as ever. Poverty, violence fueled by the drug war, and limited opportunities all contribute to the flow of people across the border. And let's not forget the deep family ties that exist, with generations of Mexicans having relatives on both sides. It's not just about economics, it's about family, about connection, about a shared history that can't be erased with a wall, no matter how tall you build it. Next up, we travel south to Guatemala, a country grappling with a devastating combination of gang violence, poverty, and political instability. Imagine living in a community where extortion and violence are daily threats, where your children are at risk simply walking to school. This is the reality for many Guatemalans, and it's a major factor driving them to seek safety and a better life elsewhere. The term migrant caravan often evokes strong reactions, but let's be clear, these are not pleasure cruises. These are desperate journeys undertaken by families, often with young children, fleeing unimaginable hardship. They're walking thousands of miles, facing hunger, exhaustion, and the constant threat of danger, all for the hope of a safer future. It's a stark reminder that for many, migrating isn't a choice, it's a matter of survival. And while the US has a right to secure its borders, we also have a moral obligation to address the humanitarian crisis unfolding on our doorstep. Turning a blind eye to suffering won't make it disappear. Our journey takes us next to Honduras, a nation grappling with political turmoil, rampant corruption, and one of the highest murder rates in the world. Imagine living in a country where your voice is silenced, where justice is a distant dream, and where violence permeates every aspect of life. This is the grim reality for many Hondurans. The scars of the 2009 coup, which ousted democratically elected President Manuel Zelaya, still run deep. The ensuing years have seen a surge in violence, fueled by powerful drug cartels and gangs who operate with impunity. For many Hondurans, staying put isn't an option, it's a death sentence. They risk everything, often relying on dangerous smuggling routes for a chance at a life free from fear. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. But it's also a stark indictment of the failures of the Honduran government and the international community to address the root causes driving this exodus. Chapter 4. El Salvador. Escaping the grip of gang violence. Our next stop is El Salvador, a nation synonymous with brutal gang violence and a heart-wrenching struggle for survival. Imagine living in a community terrorized by MS-13 and Barrio 18, where extortion, forced recruitment, and murder are daily occurrences. This is the stark reality for many Salvadorans, particularly the young and vulnerable. Decades of civil war, followed by a fragile peace plagued by gang violence, have left deep scars on Salvadoran society. The government's heavy-handed mano dura policies, aimed at cracking down on gangs, have often resulted in human rights abuses and further fueled the cycle of violence. For many Salvadorans, fleeing to the United States, even if it means risking their lives on a perilous journey, is seen as the only way to escape the clutches of gangs and provide a future for their children. It's a desperate gamble, driven by fear and a sliver of hope. Chapter 5: India, from Silicon Valley dreams to undocumented lives. Now let's shift gears a bit and head over to Asia, specifically India, a nation often associated with skilled workers and booming tech industries. But behind this narrative of success lies a more complex reality. While many Indians arrive in the United States legally on work visas, a significant number end up overstaying their visas, transitioning into undocumented status. The reasons are varied. Some face difficulties renewing their visas, while others are lured by the promise of better job opportunities and higher salaries. And then there are those who enter the United States through its southern border, often after arduous journeys through Central and South America. The Indian undocumented population is a diverse group encompassing IT professionals, students, and low-wage workers. They often live in the shadows, facing exploitation and the constant fear of deportation. It's a reminder that illegal immigration isn't a monolithic issue, but rather a complex tapestry woven from individual stories and circumstances. Chapter 6: China, seeking fortune and freedom in the land of opportunity. Our next stop takes us to China, a global economic powerhouse grappling with its own set of internal challenges. While China might conjure images of gleaming skyscrapers and a burgeoning middle class, the reality is far more nuanced. Millions of Chinese citizens still live in poverty, and political repression remains a stark reality. Many Chinese migrants are drawn to the United States by the promise of economic opportunity and a chance to build a better life for themselves and their families. They often work in restaurants, construction, and other low-wage sectors, sending remittances back home to support loved ones. However, China's strict family planning policies, particularly the now-defunct one-child policy, have also contributed to a wave of undocumented migration. Families separated by these policies often seek reunification in the United States, even if it means resorting to illegal means. It's a reminder that migration is often driven by deeply personal factors, rooted in family ties and a yearning for a brighter future. Our journey takes us next to Vietnam, a nation forever marked by the scars of war and the enduring legacy of conflict. While Vietnam has made remarkable strides in recent decades, poverty, limited opportunities, and political repression continue to drive many Vietnamese citizens to seek a new beginning elsewhere. The Vietnam War, a dark chapter in both countries' histories, continues to cast a long shadow. Many Vietnamese refugees who fled to the United States during and after the war still have family members back home, and family reunification remains a major driver of migration. Additionally, Vietnam's economic growth has not benefited everyone equally, and many, particularly those in rural areas, struggle to make ends meet. The allure of higher wages and a better quality of life in the United States proves a powerful draw, even if it means embarking on a dangerous and uncertain journey. Chapter 8. Our next stop takes us to Nicaragua, a nation grappling with a tumultuous present and the ghosts of a revolutionary past. Once a beacon of hope for leftist movements in Latin America, Nicaragua has descended into authoritarianism under the rule of President Daniel Ortega, a former Sandinista revolutionary. Ortega's government has cracked down on dissent, silencing journalists, persecuting opposition leaders, and violently repressing protests. The country's economy lies in shambles, and many Nicaraguans struggle to afford basic necessities. Faced with political persecution, economic hardship, and a climate of fear, many Nicaraguans see no other choice but to flee their homeland. They embark on perilous journeys, often through neighboring Costa Rica, in search of safety and a chance to rebuild their lives. It's a stark reminder that the fight for freedom and a better future knows no borders. Chapter 9. Our journey takes us next to Cuba, an island nation just 90 miles from Florida, yet worlds apart in terms of politics, economics, and opportunities. The U.S.-Cuba relationship has long been fraught with tension, marked by Cold War animosity and a complex history of migration. For decades, the wet foot, dry foot policy allowed Cubans who reached U.S. soil to stay, while those intercepted at sea were returned. This policy, however, was rescinded in 2017, creating new challenges for Cubans seeking to reach the U.S. Despite this change, Many Cubans continue to risk their lives on makeshift rafts and boats, desperate to escape the island's economic stagnation, political repression, and limited opportunities. The allure of freedom, family reunification, and a chance at a better life remains a powerful motivator. Chapter 10. Our final stop takes us to Brazil, a vibrant nation often associated with its iconic beaches, carnival celebrations, and economic prowess. However, beneath the surface of this South American giant lies a more complex reality. Brazil has been grappling with economic volatility, political instability, and soaring crime rates, pushing many Brazilians to seek opportunities elsewhere. The 2016 impeachment of President Dilma Rousseff plunged Brazil into a political crisis, and the subsequent corruption scandals have eroded public trust in the government. The economy, once a source of national pride, has been hit hard by recession, leaving many Brazilians struggling to make ends meet. Faced with this bleak reality, many Brazilians, particularly young people and skilled workers, are looking beyond their borders for a brighter future. They are drawn to the U.S. by the promise of economic stability, job opportunities, and a chance to escape the violence and uncertainty plaguing their homeland. So, there you have it, a glimpse into the lives and motivations of those who've journeyed from these 10 nations to the United States, often through perilous and undocumented means. It's a complex issue, fraught with political landmines and often reduced to sound bites and fear-mongering. But behind the statistics, behind the headlines are human stories, families seeking safety, individuals chasing dreams, and a yearning for a better life. Addressing illegal immigration requires a nuanced approach, one that goes beyond building walls and demonizing those seeking a better life. It demands we acknowledge the push and pull factors, the poverty, violence, and lack of opportunities that fuel this global phenomenon. Creating legal pathways for migration, fostering economic development in sending countries, and addressing the root causes of displacement are crucial steps towards finding humane and effective solutions. Because ultimately this isn't just about border security, it's about our shared humanity.